Hey guys, Sashkina here, and I wanted to share a dream that I had on 8/27, so August 27th, 2023, and we're going to get back to that. The Lord has given me so many confirmations and so much information about this dream. And I'm going to try and share it all with you guys. If for whatever reason this video cuts out, after I upload this, I will make a part 2. If that's the case, please listen to both. It's very important. God willing, we can get through all this in one video. I'm going to get straight to it, okay, guys? So, last night, I wrote this the morning of the 28th. I had this dream the night of the 27th. Last night I had a dream that I went to a beach and I had a little vacation cabin on the beach. It was like a little beach house. It was nothing fancy. It was nighttime and I wanted to go for a swim. I went out of my little vacation house and walked a short distance down the sand to the beach water. I went in the water and began to swim over to the area where my vacation neighbors were. And there were like these little fences like in between each vacation beach house, and that was kind of like your swimming area that led out to like the ocean. So yeah, let me get back to where I was. As I was swimming past the little fence area, I saw one person up against their side of the fence, and they were holding up a king cobra snake. And I could see the whole ribbed belly part, you know how like the belly of a snake's kind of like that. And it was like white-ish looking. But yeah, so anyway. So I saw that and I was like, oh no, thank you, and kept swimming. I could see the belly side of the snake and was concerned about whether those people were going to get bit, but I understood they were intentionally trying to catch them and show it off. Now, I must have forgotten to write this down. So the person who was holding up the king cobra snake, they were holding it up and they were like, look what I got, look at this, to like the other people that were with them. Okay, then, so I swam a couple feet past, and I looked towards the middle and saw a whole bunch of king cobra snakes just like wriggling through each other. And they were like tangled up in a ball. It was creepy, it was disgusting. I didn't want nothing to do with it. I thought my concern was gonna be for sharks. I did not think I was gonna have to be concerned about king cobras in the ocean, and that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw all this. And so I kept swimming and got out of the water and went back to the beach house. I looked through. Okay, so I'm just gonna share this without reading because my notes got a little weird. I think I was writing them really fast so I wouldn't forget the dream. So I come out of the water and I go back to my little beach house. And so I'm in my beach house and I'm looking on the side of my beach house from the inside. And it's the same side that when I was out swimming and I went around and saw those people, it was that side of the beach house. And so there were these windows on the side and I could see my neighbors on the other side. I went to open up a window and they were like directly on the other side of the window. That's how close they were. It wasn't like you open the window and there's space. No, like I open the window and they're there. So I open the window and they're like, hey, do you want to come to, you should come to our church with us. And in that moment when they invited me, I immediately had a knowing that their church was full of deception and that they supported the alphabet group with their new perverted version of the rainbow, if you know what I'm talking about. And so my immediate response was, actually, I wrote it down, I want to get it. I said, no thank you, I'm very picky with what churches I go to. That's all I said. I closed the, I guess from there, I went to close these blinds that were over, because I was like, you know, I'm done. Like, that was it. That's all. I closed the blinds. The blinds were kind of like old. You could kind of see through some of them. Some of the edges, you ever see like on those old blinds, some of the like little pieces on the edges are like breaking off. It was that sort of thing. Closed the blinds, and that was it. That was the end of the dream. So, oh yeah, so then I wrote down confirmations. Okay. Actually, I don't even really need this anymore. So, that was a dream. I woke up from the dream. I was giving thanks to the Lord and got up, got the baby up, came out here, had all the kids with me at the time. I went to put on their cartoons, and my baby loves VeggieTales. We don't watch all of VeggieTales because some of them are a bit sketchy, but in the spirit. But anyway, so I put on a VeggieTales show, and I'm writing this in my journal because I don't want to forget it. While I'm writing about the king cobra snakes, I hear snakes in the show that they're talking about. This particular show was about fear and trusting in God. And so I look up, and sure enough, they're talking about snakes, because this one little kid little vegetable is giving an example of what they're afraid of. And I was like, no way. Like, literally while I'm writing this. So, first confirmation. Then, fast forward about an hour and a half later, I was video chatting my husband on his morning break at work, and I was telling him about the dream. And then, you know, I was going to tell him about the dream and tell him about my first confirmation I got. While I was telling him about the king cobra snakes, mind you, it's an hour and a half later. My kids had put on a different show. They're now watching Superbook. They picked out the show. I didn't even pick it out. While I'm talking about the snakes, I hear like this hissing, and I look up, and there's 3 king cobra snakes on the screen. And I was like, Lord, wow, okay, Lord. Second confirmation, okay? So, I don't remember if this was like the next day maybe, or a couple days later. I'm not sure exactly what day, but this was like in between. I looked at the clock that morning and I saw 8:27. And I was like, why does that number sound so familiar to me? 8:27. Didn't think too much of it. Later on in the evening, I looked at the clock. It was 8:27 p.m. And I was like, on the same day, I saw that time twice. And I'm laughing, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, oh yeah, those numbers were familiar because of something from like my childhood. And I just kind of like tossed it up to that. So fast forward to this morning. Ooh, I have more okay, we'll have to go back. Sorry, guys. Okay, fast forward to this morning. I look at the time. After, like, I was waking up, I was praying, I look at the time, it's 8:27. I was like, what is up with this number? So I go and I look up 827 Strongs, and Hebrew Strongs 827 means a quiver. A quiver. This blew my mind because, okay, I had done research on king cobras the day, like, that I had woken up from having that dream. So, like, the next day when I woke up, I started doing research on king cobras. And one thing that I found was it says that when king cobras join together, oh, don't mind I got my little honeybee going on here. Maybe I should have done a white background instead of black. It's kind of too late for that now. Anyway, sorry. I went to do my research, and I saw that a group of king cobras is called a quiver, and they do this when they're mating, because otherwise they're not really found together. They kind of go and do their own thing. So that really stood out to me, and I wasn't really sure why it stood out to me at the time, right? So we're going back now. So I go into scripture, and I'm looking up quiver on my Bible app. Listen to the scripture that the Lord led me to. Okay, so let's go to Job 39, and we're going to read verse 22 through 25. Now, this is talking about the Lord right here. He mocks at fear and is not frightened, nor does he turn back from the sword. The quiver rattles against him. The quiver rattles against him. The glittering spear and javelin. He devours the distance with fierceness and rage, nor does he come to a halt, because the trumpet has sounded. At the blast of the trumpet, he says, "Aha!" He smells the battle from afar, the thunder of captains and shouting. There were so many confirmations going on with just these 4 verses alone, guys. And I underlined the most, the things that stood out to me the most, that the Lord was poking out of scripture to me for me to notice. Like in verse 23, the quiver rattles. Which, what does that make you think of? The snakes in this dream, right? And then going